Russia is a killing machine that would weaponize anything and any opportunity along its imperial downfall, ignoring general moral norms. Good afternoon, it is Henry Keane on UATV English, bringing the hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine. Ukraine is preparing for a new winter season. Russia gets their missiles ready to tear Ukrainian civilians and destroy critical infrastructure. Russia wants to freeze the entire country and considers it a success.
Сучасний світ
The modern world quickly gets accustomed to success. When full-scale aggression began, many around the world expected Ukraine to not withstand. Now, the incredible things our people, our soldiers are doing are perceived as a given. We must do our part, protect our country, Ukrainian independence, our lives, our culture, Ukrainian freedom. And we will protect it. I thank everyone in the world who is helping Ukraine. Glory to every one of our soldiers. Glory to all those who never retreat, never burn out, who believe in Ukraine just as they did on February 24th, and who continue to fight for Ukraine, those who care for Ukraine, adding strength to our state every day. That's what's needed.
The bare facts. Ukraine is combating acute food insecurity in a number of African and Asian countries. Russia blackmails the world with global hunger and exacerbates the food crisis. Ukraine is calling for nuclear security, like Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. For example, Putin revokes the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. It is obvious to anyone who is looking, of course, Russia is a neo-colonial predator, disguised as an anti-colonialist, with a well-established and quite recognizable pattern of spreading Russian national idea, instability, promoting coups, and fueling civil wars and sending mercenaries in order to steal resources. And then, that's right, blaming the West in that. Obviously, Putin needs West, as what Russia would do without West to blame in all dirty Russian deeds then. Russia loves to justify its invasion of Ukraine by pouring massive resources into its state-controlled media. This fuels the aggressive propaganda machine, which spreads fabricative narratives and massive venomous disinformation campaigns, and the fact that it endangers Asian, African and South American countries as well as global stability is endangered is not a top reason for the Kremlin. Russia just does not care. The Kremlin Tsar is a power addict. He will make Russia fight wars on his behalf without following any rules. We urged all countries to stand united in order to deny Russia the opportunity to undermine global peace and stability. How? Well, Russia pretends to be a noble warrior in shining armor defending justice and peace to make other countries support its war of aggression against Ukraine and worldwide. But when you want to understand what Russia really is, remember what is left when Russians leave the places it has occupied and supposedly had to bring peace, life and prosperity there. Remember Bucha and have a second thought. Well, it is not too late. The United States President Joe Biden will veto the bill of the House of Representatives of the Congress if it splits the aid only to Israel without aiding Ukraine. The Biden administration is trying to convince Congress to support Ukraine and Israel in one go and to approve a new aid package of more than $105 billion, of which more than $61 billion is for Ukraine. The issue of aid to Ukraine and Israel are closely intertwined, because they are two fronts of one global war. It is dictatorship against democracy, as simple as that. The fact is that weakening one front will inevitably lead to worsening of the situation on the other. Yes, the war takes a lot of resources. However, the free world can and must afford it. It is a necessity, a vital one, and no whim, because the enemy is getting ready. According to media reports, the Russian Federation received 1 million artillery shells from North Korea. These are to destroy Ukrainian civilian infrastructure in Ukraine. We urgently need further American military assistance so as not to let Putin invade Europe further. Dictators won't stop unless stopped. No one promises a quick and easy victory. But the weakening of world's and American support for Ukraine is an invitation for Putin to invade, and for other dictators, just by the way, who are closely watching, to act. Don't trust me on that. Maybe I'm just a talking Ukrainian TV head, right? How do I know anything about the war? Trust someone who has proved to know the whole thing on the real battlefield.
The transition of the war to a positional phase leads to its prolongation and carries a significant risk for both the armed forces of Ukraine and the state as a whole. In addition, it is beneficial to the enemy, who is trying in every possible way to regroup and increase its military power. Valery Zaluzhny, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine.
Ukraine is convinced that the United States Congress is well aware that the world has already plunged into a state of protracted dramatic crisis. We all know the way out, victory, and overcoming which requires attracting significantly more resources than have been invested so far. The United States presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy said that if he wins, in exchange for breaking the military alliance with Beijing, he will offer the Russian Federation nothing else but recognition of the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine and non-joining of Ukraine to NATO. But such statements are an example of extreme, I would say even terroristic populism, and sharply contradict the current US strategy in American national interest and security. While politicians only want to win at all costs, they are ready to feed our country to the Kremlin. Again, Russia annexed our lands, killed our families, and abducted our children. Russia is not fighting a war in Ukraine to get some more land. No, its goal is destroying all of Ukraine, strategically defeating the West, and imposing an authoritarian agenda on the world, no matter if someone understands it or not. Appeasing the dictator never did and will not now solve the issue. Russia wants to prevail globally over Western ideology, of where freedom and sovereignty are core human values. The populism of some politicians is an ideal weapon, and then the ceasefire will turn into another war as soon as the Kremlin will have its respite. The world will not solve the threat of Russian dictatorship with temporary solutions, while a globally new security system where a Tsar simply cannot start a war, just at his own ill will, is a real solution.
There are many signals from representatives of states, including the Global South and our partners in Europe and in the United States, confirming the correctness of our course to unite the world around the peace formula, so that the principles of a just peace and the full restoration of international law become a common plan for the world's majority.
Russia just must be held accountable for its bloody deeds in Ukraine. It is the fundamental principle of international relations and global security, no matter if some politicians understand it or not. The Kremlin's public rhetoric and promises are worthless now, as they always have been. Putin has already promised not to attack Ukraine and not to annex its territories. Remember? Well, where we are now. It was Henry Keane on UATV English, hoping to give you the hard truth in easy enough terms in our daily wrap-up today. Please comment, please like, and please subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters a lot to us. Stay safe and tune for more very soon. Goodbye.